Okay, hello and good morning, everybody. As the scene takes a moment to kick over, and my camera is facing the wrong way. I'm also not gonna green screen. This is not working out. Okay, well, that's a couple of minor things aside. Hello, Zombie Grub. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Still feeling a
Better than
little bit
before?
sick, or
Yes, I am, but it's much better.
okay? Wow, the lighting in my room is awful. Okay, well, I'll fiddle with my camera in a moment. I was gonna say though, funny story of just weirdness. So you know how I pretty much brand you as a cat person, right?
Yeah.
Mostly because, well, let's be honest, you are. I start Skype with Zombie Grub guys as we do, and cameras go up, and we're muted, and things are ready to go. And I look at Zombie Grub, and she's looking at the camera, and she's doing this weird thing with her face, where like, I didn't clue in that she was actually eating some food because I hadn't seen the part where something went in her mouth. So I get to see her just kind of chewing with the mic muted, and it looks like she's like a cat trying to get something out of her top lip or something. I don't know. I sat there actually without thinking, going, "What the fuck is this person doing? Like, this is like how a cat cleans itself. What's going? Oh, she's probably eating. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb."
Yeah, I got some grape
It's
nuts stuck in my gums.
not a great start to the day for me, is what this comes down to, basically.
Okay.
Anyways, folks, wow, this is just not gonna want to work. I gotta have to turn on some lights later or something. At any rate, blue, now red. I give up with the camera. We're gonna leave it as is. I've got an ugly, gross, red-looking raspberry face, and we'll just deal with it for now. Welcome to the TING Season 3 Open, and this is the very first set of qualifiers. Now, normally, most of the time, the wildcard qualifiers have all been scheduled for after the fact, and the way we had been using them previously had been kind of this catch-em-up type of bracket where players who didn't quite make it through the North America region, didn't quite make it to the Korean region, etc., could have a second chance. Whereas last season, the wildcard qualifiers really ended up becoming a lot more about the players who were either strategically trying to dodge their region of group players, or alternatively those who wanted the like the Demi Loves from India and the other guys who just didn't have like properly designated regions to compete in. So we're kind of treating it as its own thing. We've also changed it up so there's no longer two North American groups because North American participation has been low across the board. There's now just one North American group, with the second one becoming a third wildcard group. So North American players can still compete. The server preference is still North America. The only difference is that it's open to other players from other regions. This first one looks pretty cool because we already see some people here in chat that I didn't expect to see. Gumiho and Sue and Super and some others. But it was both Byun and Solar who not only were in the finals of last season's Ting 2, but they were also the two players who came in through the wildcard groups. So for these guys, it might just simply be a matter of trying to dodge the tougher Korean groups, but still end up inadvertently creating their own Korean group. I don't know.
WSSNA 2.0.
Yeah. Of course, for those who don't know how this works, today is going to be all best of threes. There are no best of fives. The quote-unquote finals are going to be double elimination, so there's a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. So we won't be holding both semifinals as usual because both of the qualifying matches are essentially our semifinals. So 2 players to get through. 2 players will be invited back later. We have been pretty consistent about this, and it's worked out really well so far, so I've got no problems continuing to do it, but we've been inviting people back largely based on performance. So if we see people getting to the semifinals in both brackets but not quite making it through, they're usually the first person we've been giving invites to for the group in the main event. And so far it's been pretty good. No, nothing's backfired yet. But looks like the brackets are going to be good to go here in a moment. Again, Dares, as per usual, has been doing a bang-up job being our admin lately. Really glad to have him on board. We do have a tweet out if you guys wouldn't mind hitting us up with a retweet and sharing about what's going on. I would like to point out 2 very notable players who are signed up and checked in, and that's both Time and Cloudy. Now, Time and Cloudy are actually Chinese players. You may know Cloudy a little bit better than Time, although I don't know Time super well. According to both Scarlet and several other players, Time is a very, very good Terran player, like really highly ranked in their opinion type thing. So I'm excited to see how he does today. But I bring them up because they're the 2 Chinese players that were the first folks to arrive to our Korean team house, the training house over in Korea. If you guys didn't see, No Regret posted a small little tweet showing them practicing. They're set up and good to go, and I'm excited to see them already jumping into playing in tournaments.
Yeah, that is nice to see. It's a big bracket, though. I don't know if I get through.
Yeah, I wish them the best of luck. But the thing is, of course, a lot of people are going to get knocked out, but there are many other qualifiers to compete in. And of course, the way we've done our regions, too, for those who are a little unfamiliar with TING and its format, is we do it based on residency, not based on, like, who you are, I guess as a citizen registered type thing. So if you are a North American player living in Korea, you have to play the Korean qualifiers. So that's going to apply to Scarlet, for example, and a couple others. If you're a European player living in North America, like let's say you're at the Root House or something, you're going to have to play the North American qualifiers, and so forth and so forth. So it's a different way of region locking, I suppose. Either way, there's so many options, there's so many qualifiers and so many regions to get through, and of course 3 wildcard qualifiers that anybody can play in, no matter where you are in the world. I think leaves plenty of opportunity for everybody to have a chance. But we got some subs coming in as we kick off the cast today. Ivanson hit us up with an 11-month resub about half an hour ago. It says, "Where's Rifkin's glorious face?" Worth a try 1. Thank you for subscribing. And then the chosen one, the NL, definitely doesn't stand for Netherlands. It stands for Neverlands, just like Peter Pan. It
Yep,
says,
Neverland.
2 years. Come on, 2 years. So close. So close. Not quite there yet. Anyways, Jakshi was... Oh, not Jakshi. Excuse me. I'm just reading chat as I'm doing this. Crank was going to do the Korean cast today, but I guess was feeling a little bit not so hot last moment. So unfortunately, we won't have a Korean cast for this one, but that's okay. We'll still bring you guys as many good games as possible.
Oh, the brackets are final.
All right, let's find us our first match.
All right, then. So, Time faces Bioice, just kind of a throwback name, and then faces Alive. There's Solo versus Jakshi.
Cloudy versus Natural, PVT. I wouldn't mind going with Time, to be honest. I'd definitely like to see him play, especially since I've heard so much about him from the other players.
All right, then. Interested to see how he plays against Bioice. Stupid challenge.
Yeah,
It's
the
gotten
thing
worse.
disappearing.
No, like, sometimes it'll get stuck thinking that I'm, like, clicking on it. So, like, if I move my mouse, it'll scroll everywhere when I'm not clicking my mouse.
Nah.
It's very annoying.
All right, so the other part about this being double elimination, I guess we should note, is in the past, many players have not cared for it to be double elimination. And I don't mean like, oh my god, they're super like BM, but it's like, oh, I made it to the losers bracket. Well, I don't really care about the losers bracket, so I'm gonna tap out. So we'll see how many people actually stick through it. But yeah, I've put in chat we'd like to see Time versus Bioice. Vetoes are done, top seed, all that good stuff, down to 1. And we'll see. Actually, I should probably message them too so they know.
I messaged them.
Okay, well, I was gonna ask him how's
Do
the
it
house.
too.
Thank you to Milius Pro for the 11 months. It was almost a year. Been an awesome journey to see how far base trade has gotten so far. Heart you all. Oh guys, we're getting even better. Don't you worry. We got more stuff to announce. I think it's next week. We were told we were allowed to announce the venue for these finals. I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I have a better segue. I don't care what you're gonna say. I played in my very first StarCraft tournament yesterday, and it went about as poorly as you could imagine.
The Diamond Tournament?
Yes. So, I sat there, and I sat there for like 20 minutes beforehand, almost with my hands in prayer, because they told me, "Hey, we'd like to cast you first, since people know who you are." And I'm like, "Oh, great! Like, god damn it! Okay, sure, why not, right?" So I sat there after hearing this, and for 20 minutes in prayer, I was like, "Just don't give me TVT. Just don't give me TVT. I hate TVT. At least let me have one win in the tournament, then get knocked out. TVP, easy peasy. TvZ, easy peasy." And I just prayed and prayed and prayed, and I fucking got TVT.
Well,
And I played rather poorly. I didn't expect to go far. I didn't expect to win. I just did it for fun because I've never really played in a tournament before. Like I've done the in StarCraft tournaments and I've got like the trophy from winning one and like those little things, but I've never like played in this. So I go queue up ladder, and while I'm praying and practicing, and I hit a fucking TvT as my one warm up game, right? And it's against a Masters League Terran player, and I win. So I'm feeling really confident going into this. Like, I got this, no problem. I inspect the guy's profile, the guy I'm supposed to play against. I see his match history. He's lost a lot of TvTs recently, and it's all like 3 racks Reapers from him or like really, really weird openers. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I got this. The guy didn't cheese me once till we got to game 4, which kind of sucked for me because I played like really around that idea. But I was pretty proud of myself. I haven't seen the casting of it. I know for a fact that like many players hate when we cast them, so I feel like I'm probably gonna hate hearing someone else cast me, unless it's like a close friend like Zombie Rob or Nathanius and such. So I haven't heard the casting for anything. I don't know how good or bad it was, but I was so fucking proud of myself though, Zombie Rob, and I hope you would be too, because I lost the first 2 games pretty badly. It was macro games. I got supply blocked a lot. It sucked. It was not honestly good games. But the 3rd game, I was like, I open up. I built my first SCV, and I'm like, you know what? This guy's SCV scouted me like every single game, and he's been pretty diligent about this and seen my Banshee openings in every single game. I'm down 2. Maybe he's expecting me to be desperate. So I hide my barracks. Like, I don't proxy it, but I hide it. So he checks my base. Boom. Sees the barracks isn't there. And fucking goes home and builds like a 2nd barracks and Reapers and bunkers. Meanwhile, I'm just going straight for a Banshee. Oh, it felt good, man. I got like 14 or 15 SCV kills. I didn't even care that I lost the series. I was so proud of that one game. Not because I won, but because the mind games actually worked. It's like, yes!
Way to go, man. Way to go. We ready?
Yes. So we do have the first game ready to go. Bioice and time. And let's hop into it. Also, real quick, who just subbed? That was Dinwit. Dinwit for 11 months. Man, so many people on the cusp of 1 year. We got some more partoofs we're going to have to send out. Dinwit says, ready for Black February? Last year's subtrain is about to arrive and make a run on the bank of base trade. Hope your partoofs and FDIC are insured. Oh, I guess that was February of last year during the Alima League when we had that crazy day.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, why? Oh, God, why?
Huh.
Pause.
Is there a patch?
Pause and remake. I'm serious. Oh, why? There's no reason. Oh, God. My eyes. Okay, so for those who don't know what we're doing, because we're just kind of exclaiming for no reason, it loaded the WCS 2.2 patch, or the overlay. However, did that happen for you too?
Yeah.
What the Blizzard? There was like no patch that I'm aware of, and I was looking at replays yesterday with GameHeart, no problem. I think this is their way of trying to force it. They're like, well, if we make them use it one time, maybe they'll use it forever.
Well, it was the default one, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I think, no, I got the, wait, you had the default overlay?
Yeah, I had default.
No, I had WCS 2.2.
Oh, no, I had default, so I don't know, man.
Okay, well, damn it. One small hiccup. Let's hop into it.
Wow, we had to remake because you didn't want to deal with WS 2. Oh my god.
Well, no, okay.
I thought you had default too.
Hold up. In fairness, it is a little bit that I didn't want to deal with WCS 2.2, but also the TING overlay stuff they gave us doesn't line up with WCS 2.2, so that would not work for casting. But as you guys can see, again, quick reminder of all the TING promo stuff. We're not going to have a lot of videos to play during the qualifiers, but we will have some cool videos from them to play for the main event. More on that later, though, because we're getting into the first best of 3 to kick off TING Season 3 here for the wild card double elimination qualifiers. Top right side of the map, he's coming from North America. It's going to be the pink Zerg player, Bioice.
The bottom left is the red Terran. It's the Chinese player, Time.
Alright, what, Control F? Yeah, my frame rate's been cut in half for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why. Today is like a morning of technical difficulties. We should have more than 30 FPS, but I'll look into that in a moment, guys. Maybe the settings are just too high and I'll tone them down, but yeah, it's kind of cool to get to see Time. Again, I've heard a lot about him. I haven't seen a lot of his games firsthand, but he comes highly recommended by many of the players that are going to be staying in the house at Korea, and supposedly has a very good ladder record, so we'll see how he does. It is worth noting, though, that this is a player who's staying in our house in Korea, so hype! But it is Korea to North America, as Bioice may have a little bit of a home field advantage in that regard.
Yeah, I forgot it was North American server, so you had to choose even more specifically which server. But luckily, it was default to Western, so...
Nice.
Ah! Yeah. Nailed it.
Now, Bioice actually is a player we used to see a little bit in the past. He's also one of the jerks who knocked us out of Red Bull and ended our pro gaming career before it even began. But
well, we still made money, so
you made more than me too, by the way. Can we talk about that wage gap? Jesus.
Talked about it before.
Regardless, Bioice, when we last saw him, really, really favoring those all-ins, kind of playing similar to the way we've known No Regret to play and seen him in Nation Wars a bit. It's probably the best way I would equate to anything recent. But again, we haven't seen him in a long time. I don't know how he's currently playing. And I guess now he's playing for Sloth Esports?
Apparently.
Cute little logo.
I don't know. I don't really know the team.
Oh, I changed up our clan logo, by the way. I think you'll like it. You should check it when we get out of game.
Okay. I never play on this clan anyway.
I know. I had contemplated doing that thing we had talked about so many times where like I upload a picture of my face, just looking very neutral, and then if I lose the game, make it like really sad and like keep updating it as it goes. But I was like, that'd be too much
work on ladder.
Well, no, but for the tournament I played yesterday, man.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you would have timed that out really well.
I was like, it'll be too much work though. Who cares? It is worth noting Time appears to be doing a pretty standard build back at home, so nothing crazy out of our Chinese Terran.
Oh yeah, 2-on-1 all the way. But it'll be a good test of his skill. You know, there's no cheese that says, well, Time could be a good player, but maybe he just wins because he cheeses. I don't know if Bioice is really good tests, though, and like not to be, BM or anything. It's just that I haven't actually seen him in a while. I don't know if he's playing seriously. I mean, at least he's competitive because he is participating in this tournament, but it is like the first time we've seen him since hell to the time.
Actually, I'm glad you bring that up too, because it is worth noting that I think a big part of the fall off for our North American participation isn't that there's no NA pros. There's some pretty good players out there, but a lot of them are still juggling things like school or work, or they just can't commit full time to StarCraft 2 like some of the other players in other regions can. So, yeah, I don't know where Bioice is right now. Like, is he kind of playing, I don't want to say half-heartedly, but not full time, or has he actually been able to commit over the last few months?
Yeah, maybe that's why he showed up today. It is Sunday morning in the U.S. I don't know where he's located, but no matter what, it's still kind of early to wake up on a Sunday.
Yeah, we did try and put the wildcard qualifiers all on weekends, so everybody had an opportune chance, regardless of what region you're from. Speaking of weekends, by the way, did you see this recent thing Japan's been talking about?
Did you see the comments about it?
No, I just saw the title and I thought it was really interesting.
Okay. So the trick is that they still have to work the same work hours, so they extended the days they work.
But so like instead of like an 8-hour day, it's like 12-hour days, but you like extra day off. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, because I guess between casting long hours and the fact that there's a security guard before this, 12-hour shifts weren't so bad once you get used to them, but they were just objectively terrible.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole discussion about the Japanese work, type work culture, but it's always interesting the idea to see something different.
Oh my God.
That almost went really poorly.
Well, almost went really poorly for Time. Almost went really well for Bioice. He does have a large queen count, and the best part is none of them got picked off. When we see players like Beyond and others do this, usually the first thing they do is stim in and dive in boldly to pick off one queen. Time had decided to, set around the top side. I think he was hoping to get into the drone line and not so much worry about any of the actual queens. Doing so, we saw how badly that fight went for him.
Right. He went really far on a creep to get nothing promised, basically. Like, the drones could have been pulled, 1 or 2 wasn't worth it, and then no queens were really susceptible to being sniped. So that wasn't the greatest use of your first 2 drops, but as long as they survive, then it's kind of no harm done. And following up with 2 more drops to immediately add on, Bioice might not have enough of an army to deal with this. His creep spread is good and all, but just Lings against 4 medevacs full of Marines, that doesn't usually work out that well.
No, not to mention, if he gets that mineral line, he gets to use that sort of, I hesitate to call it Sim City, but just terrain to his advantage. Now, he cleans up a lot of the creep, which is a good start, but this gives time for Bioice to get the banelings out. They don't have speed, but there are still quite a few of them.
Definitely don't send them first. Yeah, there's enough of them will make it still, like, worth attacking into the Terran player. Because there's no way he's gonna... Like, I actually don't like that he split. I think he should just picked up, but I guess he's already losing medevacs. And one of them's still very low. Oh, he's gonna lose another one. He's gonna lose 2 at this rate.
Wow.
Oh,
Maybe even 3. That third one's in the red.
yeah, that's what I meant. 2 extra.
This traded out, not the best for time in a couple of different ways. But I think what's impressed me about this is less about time. Even though we don't really know a lot about both of the players currently, I'm really impressed to see Bioice holding this so well.
Sure, yeah, all his timings are very clutch. The banelings, specifically, were very close to not working out at all. But, yeah, I don't really like how Time is using his 2-1-1, basically. Like, it's very easy to watch Beyond and say, well, you just do the build, then you attack, move in, and then you kind of win, right? If your timings are correct, which, sure, sometimes happens, because his timings are pretty damn on point. But it's usually more about, you know, how much... you are able to drop with a medevacs, how much your army is when it comes to the push with Widow Mines, and by splitting against the Banelings and ultimately losing his Marines, sure, he took out Banelings because they're suicidal, and a couple of Lings, but it wasn't worth it overall.
Right, and there was never like a split for the attention either. Bioice was always able to focus in that one spot on the front line. There was no one drop segmented off to the main. And I think it is really when Terran players can hit you in multiple locations, you start losing control of the situation. But that being said, Time's macro has been pretty solid behind this, and despite those early game losses, he's still up a pretty significant amount of army supply. And let's not forget, for Bioice, these queens, while they were great really early on, are not going to do so well now that Combat Shields stay on +1. Widow Mine, like, there's so much that queens will just soak damage now more than really be true fighters.
Oh, lordy.
And that Baneling hit, or that Widow Mine hit was actually pretty fantastic.
That might be game. I really, like... So, even if it is, okay, the Baneling hits at the end were bad. He's going to be able to save his 4th base. That was, I think, fortunate, but Bioice just isn't spending his money that well. Like, right now, he's actually not spending his money well at all. Like, originally, you could blame the lack of gas, but he was banking so many minerals.
Yo, these 3 Marines, though, just took on the rest of the army, literally. Those medevacs microed really well at a time, and he almost gets both the queens for this. Looks like a drop did go off of the main, and the Widow Mine didn't get the craziest amount of kills. I guess the drones were pulled away to safety, but this is where Time finally started getting that damage done. That follow-up was fantastic. The Widow Mine hits were good, but yeah, going back to like Bioice sitting here on like 2,000 minerals, he's a little bit larva blocked, I guess, with all the queens having been pulled away. Injects may have been missed, I don't know, but the point is he's sitting there on this crazy bank. He's only just finally able to start using.
Yeah, I guess Aura's lava finally popped, but there is definitely some missed macro along in there. Plus, I think his Spire was a bit later than he would have wanted. He was supposed to clean that up almost no problem if the Widow Mine hadn't gotten that shot. And then he would have had his Spire like 30 seconds, maybe even faster, actually. But he does have a lot of Banelings now. There's really not that many Widow Mines, so he's going to be able to clean this up at the loss of his 4th.
Rest in peace to the corpses of those Terran Marines.
Bioice does have a counter set up, but the wall's almost done.
I don't think that's a full wall.
Yeah, that's why I said almost done. I don't think it is.
I'd
be surprised. Yeah.
In fairness, Terran walling can sometimes be so stupid. There's a lot of maps where it doesn't look like it's a walled off, but it is, and then a lot of times you think it is, but then you're like, oh right, a command center is garbage.
That's true. These are 2-2 Lings against 2-1 Bio. Time went for the single engineering bay version of the follow-up instead of double. Oh, the Widow Mine backfired so much.
Yeah, I think he just killed all of his own Marines more than Bioice did. But looks like the Banelings did manage to get through while we're watching that fight. Not a lot of SCVs died, though, surprisingly. I guess so many went off on the wall.
2 Liberators just killed 17 drones. That's not supposed to happen. One in the main and one at the 3rd. Like, he didn't pull his drones away much at all.
Time finding a lot of advantages in this game.
Yeah, things are starting to look really bad for Bioice. Like, he's lost a lot of his queens, I guess, to the same Liberators, or, like, made them get pulled out of position, so he's only at 4, or a 5th just finished? No, he's only at 4. That's not a lot. It's certainly not allowed to spread creep spread anymore. The left side of the map still has a lot of creep to spread, but you can't go through the middle.
Today I learned wood mines don't target larvae.
I think I knew that.
Well, SCVs getting hits. They get pulled, but again, these are nice hits from the banelings, but still, having taken so much damage, it's not nearly enough. Another base gonna go down here in just a moment's time.
Yeah, it's still protected by Widow Mines. Does he have anything in the main base? Does not look like it. It's trying to get reinforcements now, and Bioice has at least successfully depleted his bank, but in the worst way possible by remaking drones, and not even enough of them, and trying to remake hatcheries, which still aren't even mining.
Yeah. The Spire went down a long time ago as well. Not a single Mutalisk, I think so. In fact, he's got 2 Spires. Oh dear. But no Muta is really able to be afforded to be made. I mean, at this point, he would love to have at least, I'd say 6 to 8 to pick off medevacs to fly around the map, but not really an option. Marine's just doing a little bit too much in every way, and Ling's not enough. GG.
Okay, it was not a great game to evaluate, I suppose. Like, I think Time looked good as a Terran player, but not out of this world. And I think Bioice looked amazing up until like 7 minutes, and then his macro really started to fall. Like, I really think if that was Sue against the same Time is actually just getting like not quite steamrolled, but I don't think he would be able to continue pressuring, and thus would maybe get steamrolled as the game went on. So
well, Sue is playing today. Maybe if cards align and brackets set up. But I'm restarting my client and hoping this fixed the frame rate issue. I'm not, again, 30 FPS isn't unwatchable. It's not like it's lagging and bad, but it should be much better than that. I'm not sure why it wasn't, so hopefully this fixes it, guys.
Well, the next map is going to be Vani.
Alright. Man, I'm rock. So the Corsair hoodie is really nice and all. I had a discussion about this with somebody on Twitter, though, because I guess there's a couple other folks who are fans of ours that have also received them. Because if you guys haven't seen, Corsair's been picking up a lot of people lately. Picked up like the CLG team. A couple other brands already sponsored by them. But I think that the Corsair hoodie is very comfortable. It is definitely my second favorite hoodie, because my god, this Twitch hoodie is so soft. I can't, like, it's just, I'm wearing a cloud. You guys don't understand. This thing is the softest thing ever.
Yeah, it's really soft. I would use the same company, brand, whatever, if I made mine hoodies.
Actually, I wonder if Twitch like has that information somewhere. Like, can we make our own custom hoodies that are this soft? Like, oh my gosh.
I would expect it's on the label, but maybe not.
All right, well, let's hope that the frames are fixed. If not, I can always turn down the graphics. I really don't want to, but we'll see how it looks. I'm ready to go whenever they are.
Time needed 1 minute.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, kitten, yeah.
So we do have some shout-outs to get caught up on while we're waiting for the game to get going. Thank you to Love and Floofin. Always love saying your name. Thank you for the 22 months. BPG BCG for the 11 months. No messages from either of them. Yohasi, though, just up for 12 months. That's Partoof, baby. This is a great stream. Thank you. Yohasi, do us a favor. Don't whisper. Whispers are disabled, but send us a direct message here on the channel. We'll get you a form to fill out so you can get your Partoof in real life if you'd like one. This is what they look like. I'm a big guy, so I've realized holding these up to scale isn't doing it justice. So here's a can of Coke. You can see what that looks like in comparison. And these are metal and nice, and they'll last a while. So make sure to message us so you can get a Partoof coin. Bruni Dieb also subbed brand new. Thank you for joining the channel. And then Slegger for 24 months. That's 2 years. There's a couple of fun years. Hope for a couple of more.
Yay. Just a couple?
Yeah, I'm in that same, but only 2 more, then we're done. No more. Okay. Exactly 2.
That's our exit plan.
That's our exit strategy. 2 years.
Yep.
No, I'll say this at this point, guys. Like, I don't have post-secondary education, so if I could do this for the rest of my life, I'd be very happy doing this for the rest of my life.
I'm not sure post-secondary education actually matters anymore. From what I've heard, anyway. The American dream is truly dead, Rifkin.
Well, with the 5 years of terrible employment before getting into casting, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are in game number 2 in this best of 3. Keep in mind, today is double elimination. All these players have a little bit of an extra chance to get through, but more importantly than that, if you guys could do us a favor and go to bttv.ting.com and check out our sponsors. Granted, it's only really going to be available to you if you live in the United States, but they offer some pretty sweet deals, so check them out. But spawning here down to the south, we have the pink Zerg player, the Terran Bioice.
In the top position, as the red Terran, he is Time.
So looks like I'm still getting stuck at, well, this has gone up to 40 FPS now at least, but I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a math magician. I don't know how this would work, but if the game is being played at 40 FPS, right, but we're broadcasting at 60, would it be better to instead broadcast at 30?
I don't know.
Neither do I, man, and I wish I did. It's like, oh, you know what it is actually? If I hadn't asked that, it would have been the perfect like Chris Pratt meme. It's like, I don't know and I'm too afraid to ask at this point.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff numbers I'm not so good with in any department, actually. I can't think of a single, thing I'm good at with numbers. Certainly not math, not geometry, not physics, not chemistry.
What
not,
about
broadcasting?
what about
not StarCraft numbers?
I'm trying to like hook you up here, man, but you keep cutting it off. It's not working.
Well, maybe you should have waited.
I was gonna say, what about what about number of fans who truly love what you do? That's got to be some pretty good numbers.
I also don't know that number, so you just proved I don't know numbers.
Okay, you know what? You're right. You got me. Reaper comes across the map and gets a pretty nice poke, but I wouldn't expect Time to be doing anything too crazy. His 2-on-1, in my opinion, the opening itself failed, but the follow-up on the macro was good, so he was able to make it work. And maybe that's just something he's a little more comfortable with. Again, very similar opening this time around.
Yeah. I think 2-on-1 is the most comfortable that a Terran player can really be. At this point, it's been months since it was first introduced, maybe even a full year since it was first introduced. But anyway, I don't like how he used it. I think it didn't backfire though, because Bioice was unable to capitalize macro-wise. Again, I think if it was a case where Bioice was only banking 400 minerals instead of 1500 minerals, it's a very, very different game. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Bioice is also getting warmed up here. As I said, it's probably early in the morning for him. And while his initial defense was fantastic, that's when things started to get a little screwy, is when you actually have to start defending 4 bases instead of just 3. Maybe he'll do better in the second game. Maybe Time will be a little more, what's the word? Just withholding on his aggression. I didn't like the stim in to nothing in the first stim in, and then I didn't like the split after that. We'll see.
Well, dealing with lings at the front door won't be a problem. If Bioice had one of these overlords set up for drops, that actually might not be too bad. But the problem is, any amount of aggression Bioice sends across the map is less defense he'll have at home. And I will say he did deflect the opening pretty well. Not to the, I guess it's not like Time made bad moves. Bioice just responded very well. He had queens in position where he needed to be. He had creep spread already out, so there's no issue transferring them around. And I think for him, if he focuses on that but has better macro follow-up to it, he'll be just fine. Not banking 2,000 minerals and I think, was it like 1,300 gas? If he can keep those numbers down and spend those better, then he'll be fantastic with the way he had deflected the opening. This time around, though, Overlord already gets picked off. Not exactly the fastest follow-up. We actually have Hellions coming out of Time, so he has modified this ever so slightly.
All right, that's cool that he has modifications. He shows some variance. Yeah, it is going to be Hellbats, so this is kind of a tricky little thing. If Bioice scouted originally and saw the 2-1-1, then you just think that it's going to be most likely into a 3rd CC. But even if it's not, it's still a different timing than it is when it follows up with Hellions, or is traded out for Hellions, rather. Because you actually are trading out your double medevacs at a time for, of course, double Hellions at a time. So it's only 1 medevac and then 1 more, not as fearsome as 4 medevacs coming for the second attack, but still. This is a very scary push to hold, because you need banelings or roaches, but the options for Bioice are banelings that are not here yet.
Well, lots of creep to clean up. Might buy him that little bit of time he needs. It worked out last time, but nope, not going to be sitting there waiting for scans, not waiting to get on the creep tentatively. He just pushes right on in. Queen's already going down, not a lot of energy because they have put down so many creep tumors. Oh, that feels kind of bad. Link's coming in for this round. He does get some nice surface area on the Hellbats, but not nearly enough. GG.
Well, that was brutal, but that happens to a lot of different Zerg players. They anticipate only needing 20 lings and queens, and they really need 20 lings, 10 banelings, and queens. So, tricky little build.
Nicely done out of time, though. He'll advance on to fight against a Korean player, alive, and this is where we may swap servers for them. So it's worth noting that North America is the default server, so that if people have discrepancies like Europe to North America or Korea to Europe, the middle ground is North America. That's forced. However, if both players agree to play off server, they're both totally allowed to play off server, and with alive being in Korea and Cloudy and Time in this case, staying in our Korean training house, Korea might just be the better option. We'll look around, we'll find out, and we'll look for the next match. I think we'll just follow them through for now, but we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes as we go to our first commercial break of the day. Thank you for watching.